Hi, I'm Kitty Felde. Last week we discussed City of Ember by Jeanne DuPrau. This week we continue the conversation with the writer. Jeanne, you wore a lot of hats before you wrote your first middle grade novel.
I worked for educational publishers, and then I worked at Apple Computer for a while doing instruction, for users. And during that time, I was also writing other things. I was writing nonfiction that I sold to magazines and newspapers and so on, and a little bit of fiction. So I was a working writer as well as being somebody who had a job, which you have to have if you're going to have money. I always wanted to write a novel, and I had never had an idea that was good enough for writing a novel until then.
You were also a teacher at some point in your career. So what is the best piece of writing advice you gave your students and to us fellow writers?
Well, start in early. Write anything that you're interested in. Write because you have something to say. You have something in your imagination that needs to come out. Don't worry about finishing things. That was one of the things that came up a lot. Kids saying, I can't get it finished. That's fine. Don't worry about it. Throw it away. Start something else. Keep going and pay attention to the rules of writing. Pay attention to spelling and grammar and punctuation and writing something clear enough so that a reader can understand what you mean.
You say if you can't finish it, then throw it out. Are there books you've never been able to finish?
Oh, yeah. Oh, millions of them. I don't know about millions, but yes, after the Ember series, I had a sort of germ of an idea for another book. And I started writing it again and again and again, and I could not make it work. Finally, I have written it, and it will be out in the fall of this year. So a lot of years went by with no finished work.
But you kept coming back to it. You never gave up or threw it in the trash. Why?
Because it's interesting to me. I wanted to figure it out. It was like a problem that sits there, and you can do something with it. You just haven't done it yet.
Well, what was the light bulb, the gift from the gods that dropped in your lap?
Well, I think one of the gifts was the many failures, and I could see why they weren't working. And then the final gift was COVID, because it shut us down. And I thought, if I don't have a project to work on, I will go crazy. So I wrote it during that time.
Thanks, Jeanne. We have interviews with dozens of other writers at our website, bookclubforkids.org, on our Writers on Writing page. And by the way, the makers of Book Club for Kids have created a very different sort of podcast. It's a mystery tale about the 10-year-old daughter of a congressman who solves mysteries on Capitol Hill. And she teaches civics along the way. It's called The Fina Mendoza Mysteries, and it's available now for free wherever you listen to podcasts. There are free teacher's guides and a Facts Behind the Fiction blog. Just check it out, The Fina Mendoza Mysteries. I'm Kitty Felde. Thanks so much for listening.